My mom taught me to sell at a spaza shop. She ran a hair salon. I pretty much learned entrepreneurship from my mom's.
Umntu ngumntu ngabantu. That on your own, you can't really do it. You need the support of those around you.
You will have a network of people, a network of communities, and a society that will make sure that you count.
Good evening and a very, very warm welcome from Saita StraightTalk. Saita StraightTalk is brought to you by Saita, the South African Informal Traders Alliance, and it is a series of panel discussions where we talk about all things pertinent to the informal sector. A lot of the times our topics speak directly to the issues that are affecting our informal traders, but there are other evenings when we talk about issues that are slightly broader, and not that it excludes it, but it means it's something that affects the informal trader, but it has a much bigger social impact. And tonight, if you've been following world news very carefully, then you will know 7 days later, we are experiencing a war in some part of the world, a new war that started 7 days ago. And that is between when Russia invaded the Ukraine. Tonight, my guest on the panel is Oksana Abud, and she's based in the Ukraine, but she's also the international coordinator of one of our very, very strong partners, StreetNet International. In fact, it is because of StreetNet International that Saita exists, because they were key in helping us form this movement. Oksana, very, very warm welcome, and thank you for making yourself available under these very, very difficult circumstances.
Thank you very much, dear Liz, and thank you for your invitation to share updates.
Oksana, if you just want to give us just a little bit of background in terms of who you are and what your under normal circumstances, what would you be doing?
I'm a StreetNet International coordinator, and I am a Ukrainian national living in Ukraine, even though we are an international organization with headquarters in Durban, South Africa. But I continue to stay permanently in Ukraine, where I work from. So we actually also have organizations through the world, and one of our affiliated organization is Free Trade Union of Entrepreneurs of Ukraine, which is our affiliate. So yeah, I can share what we are doing, how we are coping right now under such unbelievably difficult circumstances and situation.
I want you to start off by telling us, what is the climate at the moment? What are your circumstances? Your Wi-Fi signal seems to be quite good. I'm looking at your background and it seems to still be all intact. I'm not hearing anything. Give us an idea of what people are experiencing in the Ukraine at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, the situation is very bad. I am not in Kiev, not in this epicenter, in more relatively safer place. However, if my country is not safe, I also don't feel safe, because we are all worrying about our cities. The main target of the Russian aggression is big cities, mainly like capital of Ukraine is Kiev, and the second largest city, Kharkiv, which is very close to Russian border. And unfortunately, those cities are under very big damage right now, because the rocket attack started also to hit and target just residential areas, hospitals, schools, maternity houses, and it was such a shock. And I think it's just a shock for the whole world to observe all of this disaster, what one aggressor is doing, one evil who needs to be responsible for each loss, including civilian losses and including kids, because it goes beyond any international ethics, any war rules if they exist, because there is no even breaks between those attacks throughout the Ukraine. It's not only targeting eastern part of Ukraine, which was occupied still in 2014. It's a scale, like full-scale invasion, which started early morning on 24th of February, the morning that I woke up from hearing the bombs sound. And this is a morning which will always stay in my life and in life of all Ukrainians, all people who live in Ukraine at this moment.
Oksana,
So
tell me. So is there a curfew? Are you allowed to go to the shop? Or just give us a sense of the conditions. You did say to me earlier that the room that you are in is the only room where there's a light. So just set the scene for us.
yes, we have emergency state, a military state in Ukraine in all areas. Also a curfew, including in my place, in small village. Yeah, we have to follow all those rules, which we respect, because it's also for our sake, for our security. We just allowed to turn on the light in one room, the windows of which don't really go outside to the street. So this is where I'm sitting right now. All my family members have to go to darkness just to wait, to be quiet. But this is how we have to manage. But so far we're lucky. There is still electricity and internet connection. We experience, like, sometimes it disappears, but not for a long time. And this is very, very good, because we keep communicating with those of my friends and colleagues and members of our organization who are still in big cities under big attacks, who are still sitting in bomb shelters without water, without food, just because they cannot go outside. There is no break. I receive in special app program permanent warning alarm about air attack, and I get it permanently in different, like, from different part of Ukraine. It's going to happen. So it's and I have friends who are in Kiev who have small kids, and they permanently go to bomb shelter, which has not good conditions. It's very cold there. There is lack of hygiene and lack of facilities, infrastructure. It's just devastating situation.
I want to ask you something as the international coordinator. When I saw your title earlier, I thought to myself, goodness, you're the international coordinator, which means you look after all the countries that are affiliated to StreetNet International. And I was wondering, what happens to the informal traders in Russia? Do they also fall under your ambit, or are they on their own? Give us a snapshot into that.
No, we don't have in StreetNet International any organization from Russia. It was some communication still in 2013 with some labor movement, one of independent trade union confederation in Russia, to talk about some organizing or recruiting of informal traders, because there are a lot, of course, but they are not really mobilized. They are not organized at all. We know about them, but even labor movements are rather reluctant to deal with them due to different circumstances and conditions. And of course, this authoritarian regime which exists in Russian Federation, everyone is scared to organize something bottom up, which is sort of democratic organizations. That's why there are no democratic organizations in Russia.
And what are you hearing from the floor in the Ukraine? I mean, in like you said earlier, your biggest cities are being targeted. So that means your informal traders there are definitely not trading. Is any trading happening in other towns at the moment, or are you really just left to be at home and sit this one out?
No, in the area of attacks, of course, there is no trade, there is no life at all outside. It's just even not allowed to walk unless you have permission to go just to buy quickly medicine or to buy one piece of bread, because it's also limited. It's a very big food security issue. I mean, lack of food. And all shops are empty with basic needs, necessities, including food and water. But I'm very amazed of solidarity and support of our people, Ukrainians from other regions, mainly from western side of Ukraine. They really collect a lot of this food and any humanitarian aid, and they bring it through trains, through any possible road means to Kiev, and then we distribute from Kiev to other cities. Even though it's very risky, because many civilians are killed just because they were in the place that was hit by a rocket. So it's very risky. But as for traders, they might operate still in western part of Ukraine, but now they simply stopped. They just give for free all this food they have, they used to sell, just give to army. Of course, it's priority to our defenders. Also, a lot of food and support goes to territorial defense groups, because in each territory of Ukraine we have local like team which has also to protect the territory, including in my small village. We have our group and we are ready for giving.
Oksana, I'm listening to you, and I've got goosebumps and I've got tears welling up, and I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, how are you able to be so calm and so collected when I'm sitting thousands and thousands of kilometers from you, and I'm totally riddled with anxiety for what is happening in your country, and I'm also thinking of the Russians that are totally against what their leader is doing. So help me understand how it is that you are still able to be so composed.
Unfortunately, it's not easy, because, of course, we're all human. We have feelings, we have concerns, we have emotions. But in other side of humans, that we can adapt and adjust very quickly to any situation. And this is what is the best option, because panicking is not really helping anyone. And those, for me, it was like first those minutes, it was very scary, and I had fear, of course, but I just adjusted myself, because I have to be strong. I have kids, I have family, and we are all Ukrainians. We need to be strong. This is the only our weapon, also to believe in our victory, to fight, because we know what we are fighting for. It's our principles, democracy, and it's our freedom. That's why, yeah, maybe because it's already 7 days of the war, we adjusted. We adjusted to what is happening, even though until now, when we are watching on TV what is happening, we cannot believe it's happening in Ukraine. We used to see such pictures, such destroyed buildings and houses and dead bodies only in such hot countries and zones like Syria, like Middle East countries, but not in Ukraine. It's the middle of Europe. And unfortunately, we really don't get enough practical, real support from our so-called allies. We really need support. We really need to get our sky to be closed, because rocket attacks are the worst. They are destroying. We are losing because of these rocket attacks. We're not ready for it. And they simply destroy and damage any infrastructure, including the day before yesterday, they hit TV station. It's horrible. They don't want us to communicate.
Yeah.
But also the worst is because it's the war of 21st century. It's not only military. There are other field where we are fighting. It's information war, which is also very severe. We have a lot of fake information. We have a lot of saboteurs who arrived in Ukraine, not only to Kiev, to other cities, as civilian people, and now they are, destroying Ukraine from inside without their weapons, but with their own specific task they had to do, like to put marks where to target with a rocket.
Wow.
They also create some groups in social media, like they want to support. So it's a full lie, and we cannot really bear and it's unbelievable what kind of scenario that gangster prepared to occupy Ukraine, just simply to destroy it, including our people.
Oksana, I'm admiring all of you, and I'm equally horrified by what is happening. I am seeing that your screen is beginning to do this, so I'm thinking that perhaps the signal is becoming slightly unstable. So I'm going to say thank you for sharing with us such intimate details and for giving us a snapshot into what you all are experiencing at the moment. Please know that from Saita, we stand in solidarity with all of you. And we're sending you and your family, your neighbors, and every single Ukrainian, we're sending our best wishes and our love. Thank you for making yourself available. Stay safe as far as you possibly can, and we hope that soon there will be peace in your land. Thank you for joining us. This is Saita.
Thank you very much. And I just wanted to thank to all my colleagues, my great team in StreetNet. I love you very much. And to our affiliated organizations who permanently send us support, solidarity. We definitely win, and we will not give up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oksana. This is tonight's rendition of Saita StraightTalk. Our guest live from the Ukraine this evening, the international coordinator of StreetNet International, Oksana Abud. Till next time, from me, Louise, goodbye.